as you know, BFSI segment has been a regulated industry. There are a lot of guidelines which are defined by the regulators, be it RBI for the banking customers, be it SEBI for the securities business, be it IRDAI for the insurance segment or NBFCs which are there. So there are regulations which are defined here. Because of that, and when people are working on their customers' money, it becomes very important that things are controlled in a way that you have a clear visibility on the environment. And hence we saw in BFSI segment, the cloud adoption initially was slow. But there was a technology adoption within their own data center. They were consuming virtualized environment. I think they were the largest virtualized environments that you could think of in enterprise or mid-market space, wherever we are working on the BFSI segment. They have also realized in the BFSI segment that cloud is the way forward, which they need to work on. But being a regulatory or a regulated industry which they are working on, they want to make sure that when they are moving their workloads onto the cloud to enable the digital transformation for their companies, it is meeting the regulatory requirements. So one of the things which we saw, and I'm going to use maybe an industry term which they talk about. Generally, they have their core set of applications which they call as systems of records. Be it in banking, it is called as core banking, or in insurance, you call it as the core insurance applications. And then you have the peripheral systems, which they call as systems of engagement. And these could be your mobile banking, internet banking, or any of the other applications which are integrating them with their ecosystem partners. Those are two different kind of environments which they have. Some of the business which are running, the core which I was talking of, systems of records, are still running on proprietary systems and is working fine so far for them. They may not want to change immediately on the digital platform. But anything which is on the systems of engagement, we see a huge changeover happening for the older BFSI customers, where they are changing that setup onto the cloud environment, and they are modernizing that application environment for their customers. So that's one area that we see with the BFSI segment. Then any new projects which are coming in, cloud first strategy is the new norm now within that. Is this something which can be deployed on the cloud environment? That's something which they are looking at deploying on. And they have seen a good amount of success in deploying their analytics requirement on the cloud environment, where they are creating data lakes on this, specifically for applications which are actually getting consumed by their customer, and the data also is coming through the other medias. They want to have a behavioral information also incorporated on that analytics, and that's where they are trying to get information from social media, getting it from the aggregators which are there. So those kind of deployments are being done on the cloud environment. So that's what we see is the area where BFSI segment. But there are born in cloud companies also which are coming. So you have fintech companies who are actually deploying from the very beginning on the cloud native platforms, and that's why they are using cloud as the basic platform. And those fintech companies are also now getting into traditional business. May have started as a payment gateway, but now they are getting into a full-fledged banking license also, or maybe started as an aggregator and now getting into an insurance segment also. So we are seeing that amalgamation of things happening, and we see that huge amount of transformation is going to happen in BFSI segment, where customers are going to consume cloud services based on where they are on their cloud journey. I think first thing in the pandemic was for most of them was to make sure that work from home starts working for them. Okay, because even the employees were forced to sit or work from home. So I think that was the first area where we saw a lot of consumption by BFSI segment also where they started using cloud services, be it on the virtual desktop as a service, be it on the secure IPsec tunneling or a unified basically a unified threat management platform, basically a UTM being deployed to access their application, etc. All those things were consumed. And I also spoke about our NetFoundry. A lot of customers also started looking at that some of their applications need to be accelerated when they are using it through broadband. So those were the first areas where we saw customers consuming cloud services in the BFSI segment. And also we saw even the end customers of our BFSI customers were accessing their applications through internet. And that's where the systems of engagement had surge requirements which were coming, which were planned but may not be to that scale. And that's where I think people are looking at modernizing their systems of engagement. And we see a lot of transformation happening in that particular space. We see a lot of customers are modernizing those applications and then deploying it on the public cloud environment or a private cloud environment like IZO Private Cloud, depending on what is the environment which they are looking at. They are also looking at a connected world. So how do the systems are going to engage with each other? API gateway as a service is becoming very important. But when all this is being done, what is also important is how do you make sure that the regulatory requirements are met? So having a right framework, both from security and compliance perspective, over and above this environment becomes very important. So those are areas which they are focused on and are working on. And I believe in future, these BFSI segment customers, when they're catering to their end customers, would want to leverage the virtual reality or augmented realities basically. So they would try and see how they can build systems which would enable AI ML based environments, which could enable some of these engagement models for their customers. Just to give you perspective, not specifically on the infrastructure services, but a cloud-based virtual connectivity platform is something which we enabled as part of our unified communication collaboration services for some of the customers, because they had high net worth individuals. They wanted to give a differentiated services to them when they were working from home and the employees were also working from home. So how do you enable that? So that is something which was enabled for some of the customers. In due course of time, I believe this will become a standard for most of the customers when they are consuming these services, and may broad-based beyond those high net worth individuals to even the larger base of customers which they are catering to. Yeah, I believe the understanding with all the CIOs or the CDOs with the BFSI segment is now there. They understand the benefit which they can get from, let's say, a public cloud services, what benefits they can get from private cloud services, and what are some of the things which they may have to still keep within their own data center premises or in the dedicated hosting environments with a data center provider. They have understood that part, because one of the things which they have realized is it's going to be a hybrid environment for some time. It's not going to be a rip and replace. For a new operations, possibly that is something which would happen. And that's where we've seen a lot of our BFSI segment customers doing those cloud assessments, where they look at what is the application footprint which they have. Based on that application footprint, what is the kind of workloads they are running and what underlying infrastructure traits they need to support that environment. Basis that is where they are creating a cloud journey for themselves. And that's where they look at anything which is needing highly scalable infrastructure for the platform requirement, or is needing platform which is of a transient nature with high scalability workloads coming in. Public cloud seems to be a good option for those workloads. Anything where they believe the workloads are predictable, but you still have those needs on the scalability, but not a very huge transient workload which is going to come in. And you are not talking of variation which is more than, let's say, 20% or so. or 25%, 30% also, not beyond that. For those kind of environments, they want to leverage the technological advantages which are coming in from cloud, and that's where they are looking at private cloud infrastructure for their environment. And there are certain workloads where they believe that they are still on legacy systems. They need to continue on those systems for some time till the time the application is re-architected fully. Or maybe because of the regulatory requirement, they may continue on the dedicated environments. And that's where they would have this hybrid environment for their application footprint or the business footprint which they are running for their own. So in my view, next 5 years, we would continue, 5 to 7 years, we will continue like that. And that's when we will see that transition is happening, when even the core applications would be deployed on a cloud native world, and then the ISVs would have those applications deployed on those environments, and that's when we'll see more shift. We've seen with some of the progressive BFSI customers who have taken that stride, but it would broad base in next 5 to 7 years is what we are looking at. And that's where I was talking about some of the fintech companies which are getting into this BFSI segment with full-fledged license services which they have started delivering. They have deployed open banking systems. These are banking systems which are cloud native. They are Microsoft architecture-based applications which are deployed for the end customers, but utilizing the benefits that you could get. So there are things which are available in that particular space. So we see this is a transition which would happen, and that's what I was saying in my last question answer as well, where I was saying that this is a transition which would happen. And we see that this would be a transition which would take another 4 to 5 years or maximum 7 years is what we believe is going to take. For the large private sector banks or public sector banks that we have in India, it may be even longer than that also, because the scale that we are talking of is huge there. So we see that there is going to be a shift from the traditional banking applications which were there to an open banking platforms being used by the banks. And this is going to be a very integrated or a connected system. And that's where you see when you talk about open banking system, people talking about having APIs to connect with various ways to address the customer requirement. Customers could be individual subscribers, customers could be your enterprise or business customers that you may have, or it could be your partners or the aggregators who are going to come on this environment. So API gateway is going to become very important, because otherwise it will become a nightmare to integrate so many systems that may be there in the ecosystem for you. That along with the app modernization, I believe is going to be the way forward for open banking for most of our BFSI customers. I think I did touch upon that. One, it is a very regulated industry, so you need to make sure that whichever environment that you are going in, not only the platform but also the person who's managing that environment has people and processes who understand the vertical compliance requirements or the industry compliance requirements. That is very important. Second thing, when they are doing this migration, they are dealing with their customers' money. And today, businesses are running 24/7. So how do you make sure this transition is seamless? You need a partner who's going to be experienced in making those cutover migrations near zero downtime. We know in BFSI segment, the deployments which are mandated by the regulator is that you need to have a near zero downtime kind of an infrastructure. That's where you see in BFSI segment everyone talking about a production data center. You talk about a near DR, which is where you have a immediate copy of your data, which is in sync mode. And then you have another copy and another system being available in different seismic zone, which you call as a FAR DR. So meeting those requirements is going to become very important. That you create environment which is meeting the regulatory bylaws which are there in that. Security is going to become very important in this particular space. So how do you make sure that when you are creating this environment, you have an integrated security coming in as part of the cloud infrastructure that you are going to use for the transport? And that's where a partner like Tata Communication becomes very a useful partner, because we not only help customers in creating a cloud infrastructure or a hybrid cloud environment or a multi-cloud environment for our customers and monitor and manage that. We make sure that it is accessed with the right kind of customer experience which you want to deliver for your customers with our network services, and making sure that we have the right security framework which is created and meeting the BFSI segment requirements. So those are certain things which we do along as part of our managed security services. And in case customers are looking at a customer experience engagement, that's where our unified communication collaboration suite of services come into play, where we can enable the hosted contact center services for our customers, or be it the video connectivity which I was talking about, enabled for their customers. Those are certain things which we believe we can enable, and thus a partner who comes with a trust like Tata, and making sure that it has people and processes to support in this journey is very important, and that's what we make sure that we do for our customers. I hope that gives a clarity what we bring to the table. We had our own cloud, as I was talking about, enterprise grade ISO private cloud. We also had created a separate pod for government customers as per MeitY requirement, Ministry of Electronics and IT. They wanted that for very critical data, you should have a federal cloud kind of environment, which they call as government community cloud. So we created that also in India. We believe that in BFSI segment also, because of the regulatory requirements which are there from the regulators, it is important to have a cloud infrastructure which is meeting those compliance requirements and also helping them enable the benefits of cloud native environments. So that's something which we have built for our BFSI segment customers. We are also working with ISVs to see that this is an environment where BFSI ISVs are tested and is certified for those workloads. And that would ensure our BFSI segment customers are okay to come on this particular environment. So that's something which we have created for the BFSI segment. We are calling it as ISO Financial Cloud.